Hey guys, how y'all doing today? So, to any new subscribers, hey, how you doing? My name is Shanae. My channel is Live Life. So, I talk about any kind of topic, things that happen in the world. Originally, I did start talking about like narcissism, bad behavior, toxic patterns, because there are a lot of people out here who are self-aware. And once you are self-aware, you want to do better for yourself. When you realize that learn behaviors through your childhood and from the people that you hang around on a daily or a regular basis affect you, you realize, man, I can't keep hanging around this crowd of people or these certain family members, friends, or whoever, because it's not conducive to my growth. So this is a channel where we're here to grow, we're here to expand, we're here to evolve, we're here to change. We're here to do better and be better. So, in today's society, in 2025, right, being that we have access to a great big wide web, there's no choice of ignorance anymore. I mean, people can choose ignorance, but they can also choose knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We have Siri. If you have an iPhone, you got the Amazon or Echo or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's all these different type of AIs essentially that exist, that that can help you. You know what I'm saying? I talk to ChatGPT, and I love the hell out of ChatGPT because ChatGPT is very amazing with, talking to me. Like, if ChatGPT existed when I was a teenager, oh my God, my life would be totally different than how it is right now. But I've been around to see how technology has evolved in the last 30 years. Google is basically about as old as I am, which means Google Map is about as old as I am. The internet was out, obviously, before I was born, but it was very it wasn't mainstream. Everybody didn't have the internet or have a computer, So it wasn't probably until the 90s that people started getting computers, and then there was like AOL. Y'all know how it is. The only people that don't know is Gen Z, because they only came around in the 2000s. And shoot, the internet and all of that, was definitely changed completely from the 90s to the 2000s. But nonetheless, they still have been around to watch how technology has grown. They weren't around when you had record players. They wasn't around when when you had cassette tapes. Gen Z came around right after CD players, Netflix. Once streaming started to really be a thing and pick up, they don't know nothing about Blockbuster. So to the older people, give Gen Z a break. They don't know. Now, what I can say that they do know is they do know how to stream. They do know how to go out here on Twitch and YouTube and get their money. There's lots of kids right now who are like 10 years old, 11 years old, 8 years old. But it's all about the type of support system a person has. When you have a group, that supports you, like, okay, hey, so what do you want to do? And then they say, oh, I want to do this. So I'm going to give you an example. If you have any kids, you should go check out this YouTube channel called Gracie's Corner. Gracie's Corner was created by an 8-9-year-old. And, I'm not going to lie. Some of the little songs that she be making, I'd be like, this a bop right here. Like, where was this at when I was a kid? But internet wasn't around when I was a kid. Neither was Gracie. I think that's her name. I don't know. But I'm like, oh, okay. So when I have a kid, I could put them on Gracie's Corner. She teach them how to count money. She makes learning for them on their level very interesting. Because when I learned how to count money, when I learned how to tell time, it was boring as hell. Nowadays, the Gen Alpha, they don't get taught how to do cursive. And that's sad because, I'm curious as to how society's going to evolve and change to something that they are basically losing on a generation. You know what I'm saying? Because notice when you go and apply for a job, they want you to print and then your signature. If these kids do not know cursive, how are they going to sign their name? They don't even know how to write in cursive. They don't even know what cursive is. Not unless their parents or grandparents, great-grandparents. So that means it's up to boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z, the Gen Zers that know cursive anyway, because I don't know what the heck they do or don't know. But it's up to them to pass that down. And if they don't pass it down, then they're not going to know. They really are not going to know. It's going to be lost on a whole generation. So I'm curious as to how things are going to evolve and change. Now, what I can say is we are going in the direction of AI for sure. So, from what I've seen and what I've noticed, older generations definitely got to get on board, adapt or die out here, And so, millennials and Gen Z, yeah, because Gen Alpha, they're already growing up on it with Roblox and Fortnite and I need V-Bucks. That's literally like teaching them crypto, literally. Now past generations didn't have this because obviously gaming was not the way that it is now. Me personally, I don't like it because it's like, why do I got to pay for this skin to play Fortnite? Why do I have to do this and do that? It's annoying because it's like I already had to pay to buy the game. Now you want me to pay per season and then I got to buy a skin? Like, to me personally, I got better things to do with my money as an adult than to be playing with skins on a damn game. Now, if I was a 10-year-old with no adult responsibilities, I could beg for money all day. Hey, can I get? Hey, have my hand stuck out all day. But even as I was 10, me personally, I always had a work ethic. Hey, if I wash these dishes, you gonna pay me $5, $10? If I clean the house, you gonna pay me like $20? Like you need your car washed? What do you need done that I can do so that you could pay me? You know what I'm saying? It was no such thing as just me putting my hand out, begging and asking. No, we had to work for it. So that is something that I could say that Gen Alpha has zero clue about. They will have no work ethic. Not really. Not unless their parents teach them that. Other than that, as long as they have passive parents that just, okay, son, okay, daughter, and you just give them money and just buy them stuff, they're never going to learn how to earn. And then when they are 18 years old, 20 years old, they're going to go out here thinking, well, you're supposed to just give me a paycheck. You're just supposed, no, that's entitlement is what it is. So you need to be mindful of these things. I don't know why people think, oh, well, I this and I that. You raise your kids how you choose to raise them, but understand, you would be the failing person in their lives when they are struggling later on. It's better to teach them early because at the end of the day, we don't know. Our days are numbered. Every day is a day that you should be grateful to be here, but every day ain't promised to everybody. You could be here tomorrow and then, pass away in your sleep. Pass away the next day on your way to work in a car accident. I've seen it. Many people think they gonna go to work, think they gonna go here, think they gonna go there, get in an awful wreck, and they leave in a black body bag. Is that real? So, you can't just take it upon yourself to think like, oh, well, I'm gonna be here. You can plan that. Doesn't mean that that's gonna be the case. So it's better to be ahead of the game and start teaching them now. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so besides all of that, right, we need to understand the feeling of language, because that's originally what I wanted to talk to y'all about, the feeling of language, right? Because a lot of people out here, they like to do affirmations. They like to speak things, but you can speak things into existence, but without faith, which is a feeling, just like the Bible says, faith without works is dead. Okay, so you can have faith that God gonna get you a job, but you still gotta go put the work in. You still gotta go to Taco Bell, Wendy's, or wherever for whatever profession you're in or whatever, and you still gotta apply for the job. You still gotta write up a resume, organize and all that, and put that resume to work. You got to give them the resume. They're not just going to come and find you. You got to go find what it is that you're looking for. So at the end of the day, it's just hilarious to me to hear, Christian folks be like, well, I got my faith in God and this, that, and the third. Yeah, but you still need to do the work, boo-boo. You can tell God all day long, yeah, God, I want that car. Cars cost money. If you ain't got no job, how you gonna get the car? If you ain't got no job and you ain't got no car, how you gonna get that house? You know what I'm saying? And I say that because, depending on your, geographic location, buses don't run everywhere. And let's say buses do run. It might be one bus and you got to get up at 4, 5, 6 in the morning to catch it to the city if you live an hour plus away from the city. Ask me how I know, because I used to live in the suburbs. I grew up in St. Louis, so we lived an hour from downtown. There was only one bus that came all the way out to where we lived that took you downtown. And then you had to catch that same bus coming back by 4 or 5 p.m. Now, if you got a car, you can go anytime you want. You can go and do whatever you need to do on your own time as long as you have a car. But if you're dependent on the bus, your day operates on that bus schedule. I even had an old, co-worker who, they lived like 2 hours away from work. They lived like in the boonies and they caught a bus. So that means they got to get up early in the morning to catch that bus to get downtown to work. Why? Because catching the bus for them was cheaper than driving to and from work 2 hours a day, paying for gas. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it just be that real. You got to do what works for you. It doesn't make you less than or better. It's not about being superior or inferior. You know what I'm saying? You're doing what works for you in your financial situation. But the language of feeling is just like how children are. Children, they sit there and they just have an imagination. They can think that they're an astronaut. That doesn't mean just because they're pretending that they're on the moon or in another universe, galaxy, dimension, or whatever their imagination goes to, it does not mean that, they're there. They're literally in their room or somewhere in the house pretending that they're in space. But somewhere along the line in the education system, they'll teach them, oh, well, you need to get serious. You need to get good grades. So now they've gone through school, got pumped out and dumped out, and then they lost creativity. Have y'all noticed that? Did you notice that maybe about yourself? And I just ask these questions because, when I have conversations with people, with friends or relatives, they'll be like, man, when I was a kid, and, they go into these stories and you could just hear how they just remember and they reminisce on how much life and creativity and color in their life that they had as a child versus now as an adult. And that's kind of sad because it's like, so basically, you allowed your light to get dimmed. You allowed them to, take color out of your life, to take that light away. You know what I'm saying? They basically created and made you into a robot in America's corporation where you just beep, boop, boop, I'm up, gotta eat, have to go to work, 9 to 5, come home, do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? Just this robotic nature. And I get that it's like unsubconscious habit, but if you're really trying to change your life, you got to get out of that robotic behavior and actually actually sit down and think about what it is that you want and how it feels. Like, whatever it is that you want to be. Like, people want to be like, the number one thing that I always hear people say is it's something that they desire to do. But for some reason, there's some kind of story that they tell themselves that stops them, that tells them they can't, if they do share this, they share it with the wrong people. And I say the wrong people because sometimes family and friends and certain people around you can be the wrong people. If you share a dream or a goal or a vision to become something and do something and they don't support it, they either laugh at you or they make fun of you, they mock you. That ain't your people. That is not your group, okay? It's not for you. It's really not. Because when you share that, they should be on board to be like, you should go for it, do it. Especially when you come up with a plan like, yeah, I was thinking about doing XYZ, and then after doing XYZ, I was gonna do ABC. Like, if you got a whole goal and a whole thing that you wanna do, and then you tell somebody, you know what I'm saying? And then the other thing is, if they're very quiet and silent, they're not cheering you on, they're not encouraging you, they're not quite discouraging you either, but if they're quiet and they just have no input and nothing to say, nothing that is going to be helpful, watch those people too. Because you want cheerleaders on your side. You want them cheering and rooting for you. You want them, you want to know that you got somebody helping you. Why? Because it helps keep you motivated and keep you going. Your biggest cheerleader is you. And sometimes, you have to move in silence. What I notice is there's a lot of people out there. They'll try to talk to their family or whoever, and none of those people will listen to them. And then next thing you know, they'll email me and be like, oh, well, I want to talk about this. I'm all about encouraging people. Why? Because I encourage myself. I am my number one cheerleader. Because at the end of the day, if you are not your number one cheerleader, everyone else doesn't matter. You have to believe in you first. You have to not give up on you. But as long as you have like this mindset and you tell yourself, I can't, and stuff like that, then guess what's going to happen? Your subconscious mind is going to make your words a reality. You cannot say, oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. If you want to go run a marathon and you've never ran a marathon, the best thing you can do right now in this present moment is go buy some jogging shoes and get out there and jog around your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Start doing more cardio workouts and stuff. Get your cardiovascular system used to really pumping. Get your lungs used to really, you know what I'm saying, working out. Because when you're breathing heavy, your lungs are working. Whether we think of it like that, your lungs are getting a workout, just like your heart and your circulatory system is moving. And that's the number one thing to do. And when you get tired, call it a day. If you're able to do half a lap in your neighborhood, that's a start. That half a lap will become a lap. That one lap will turn into 1.5 laps. That'll become 2, 3, 4 laps around your neighborhood is probably a mile, I would estimate, because, like if you go to a high school track and you run 4 laps around that track, that's considered a mile. So, you know what I'm saying? Well, now it's like, well, dang, okay, if I could run 4 miles, let me time myself. Time yourself, see how long it takes to run 4 laps. Boom. Now make it a goal. Well, can I beat that time? Eventually you'll start making it fun, and pretty soon you'll start doing 2 miles, which is 8 laps. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like running, You can swim laps in a pool. That's cardio too. See how many laps you can do back and forth down the pool. That's what I do personally because I like swimming. So for me, and then what's crazy is my Apple Watch, it automatically records the temperature of the water, the depth of the water. It'll even start tracking, like, I've noticed that you are swimming. It'll like automatically pick up my heart rate and how many laps I'm doing. I'm like, how does my Apple Watch even know this? But, it's amazing. Technology is amazing how, it has evolved. And next thing you know, it'll calculate you've done a swimming workout. And then when I'm done or I'm tired, I'll just click on my watch, stop. Because my workout is done. I might have did 4 to 8 laps or something like that. But it all starts with you. You can't sit there and say, I can't. You keep saying words like that, then you're not gonna, if you're a writer or you love to write, it's not about how to get started. Just start. Just do it now. I mean, me personally, when I got on here on YouTube, I've seen a lot of other YouTubers. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have plants in the background and they have their name and lights in the background. And, they got this and they got that. And I'm like, man, I got to work myself up. This is my 5th year on YouTube now. And I'm proud of myself for that. I started in 2020 during the pandemic and here I am now, And I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop just because, I don't have a ring light. These are things that I have to invest in. These are things that I have to do. But I see people making their YouTube videos out their car, on the go. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not always in their studio, their office or whatever part of their, home that they're working from. You know what I'm saying? Now, to me, I think it's smart to do YouTube. Why? Because for one, if you do YouTube out of your apartment or your house, well, once you start getting monetized and you start making money, you can do a tax deductible or a write-off. Why? Because you are using a particular portion of your home to make money, which means that you can get things, you can get that reduced or you can get that tax write-off or deductible, however it falls off. So that was my goal. Like, wow, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking about ways to save money. That's just like, me and my fiance were talking the other day. He's trying to do 3 YouTube channels at one time. As much as I want to get my gaming channel started, I'm focused on this channel because I already have an audience that I have grown over the last 5 years. Now, all of you all who enjoy gaming, who enjoy anime and other things that I enjoy, well, guess what? You're going to love my other channel. Why? Because that's what I do. Those of y'all who love cooking, you can follow that channel. Like, what I'm saying? There's other things that I enjoy doing. That's the reason why I named this channel Live Life, because, it's all about living life. When we go on trips and vacations, I want to be able to show y'all the fun things that we do, like do vlogs and stuff like that. Because why? I inspire people to get out of their comfort zone. How do I know this? My entire family, their whole lives, have lived in one city, one state. Never, they might have gone places. They might have gone to other cities and states or whatever. But I am the first one in my family to have gotten my passport and to have traveled to Japan and Mexico and Europe. And pretty soon I'm going to be going to Dubai. Okay? So I'm getting out here. The world is big. It's up to you to explore, and it's up to you to see other cultures and other places and how they live and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And as you become traveled, you learn a lot. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed being in Europe. Even though we was on a cruise and we was in, Italy and Spain and France, it was still really nice. And I was like, oh man, what if we ever do it again? Oh man, next time I got to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You know, that is something that I would like to do. You know, I would love to go see Rome and things like that. Shoot, I took Latin for 4 years in high school, and I knew so much about, Greece and Rome and stuff. That's like, why would I not want to go? And because I'm a foodie and I like to taste different foods and wines and stuff like that, why not? You know what I'm saying? I just like to live my life, and I want y'all to be inspired to live your best life too. So if that is what you want, then 2025, stick around, because I talk about all kinds of things. Like, I want to start talking about finances, because I understand that a lot of people out there are just financially illiterate. You know, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to learn, but they just don't know where to start. They just don't know how. Well, I'm here to help you and teach you, because to be honest, a lot of things that I've learned from books I've read. I've learned from other YouTubers. And a lot of those YouTubers that I love to watch, they read books and they learn the things that they learn. So when they teach things, and I'm like, wow, I learned something new. Well, they didn't always know that information. They learned that from a book. And that same book that they read, I'll go get that same book, read that same book, get the same knowledge, but my opinions and my perspective on it would be with a twist, and it'd be different than their perspective. I mean, when you really think about it, all YouTubers are basically the same. We put our face on camera. Some channels, their face ain't on there. You just hear their voice, and they just have different videos or topics that they talk about or whatever. That's fine. It just depends on the person. But at the end of the day, just like, I'm getting in the habit of, I'm going to be reading a chapter a day, setting aside an hour a day. So, for me, this is the book that I am reading. There's another YouTuber that I like who read this book already. There are many of the books that I have and that I own, other YouTubers have put me on. So I got financial books. I got books on like frequency, health books, herbal medicine books, all types of books. Because why? This is all different types of knowledge. There's no such thing as stay focused on one thing or learn just one thing. No, you can learn different things, So anyways, you guys, be good out here. We're about to learn, grow, and evolve together. All right. And if you with me, then cool. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Positive energy always creates elevation.